All right, let's dive right in. Today we're going on an absolutely incredible biological journey. The journey of a single sperm cell? I mean, think about it. It's a microscopic marathon where the stakes couldn't be higher, and we're going to break down every single part of that race.
So let's imagine the sperm cell as this tiny, highly specialized vehicle, and it's on a mission. But what's it actually made of? What's under the hood? What powers it? And most importantly, what's the exact route it has to take to succeed? We're about to find out.
Okay, first things first, we have to map out the sperm's highway. Now, this isn't some random road trip. It's a very precise, step-by-step journey through the male reproductive system. And listen, if you're studying for an exam, getting this sequence right is absolutely crucial.
So here it is, the exact route, step by step. The whole process starts in the seminiferous tubules. Think of these as the production factories. From there, the sperm move through these tiny connecting ducts called the vasa efferentia, which lead into the epididymis. Now this part's really important. The epididymis is like a waiting area where they mature and are stored. After that, they travel through a long tube, the vas deferens, which takes them to the ejaculatory duct. And finally, the exit route from the body is the urethra. Seriously, you have to memorize this sequence, so a great study tip is to come up with a mnemonic device to lock this order in your brain.
So, we've mapped out the highway. Now, let's pop the hood and take a look at the vehicle itself. A sperm cell it's perfectly designed for its mission. It's got 3 distinct parts, and every single one is vital. Let's start with the head. You could say this is the business end of the whole operation. It has 2 incredibly important parts. First is the acrosome, which acts like a specialized drill, releasing enzymes that help it penetrate the female egg or ovum. And second, of course, is the nucleus. This is the precious cargo, the whole point of the journey. It's carrying all of the male's genetic material. Right behind the head is the middle piece. The best way to think of this is as the engine room. It is absolutely packed with mitochondria, and their only job is to churn out massive amounts of energy to power this incredibly long swim. Without this engine, that sperm is going nowhere. And all that energy from the engine room powers the tail, which is also known as a flagellum. This is the propulsion system. It whips back and forth, creating this powerful swimming motion that just drives the sperm forward, all the way through the female reproductive tract.
But here's the thing, these tiny vehicles don't travel alone, and they definitely don't travel on an empty tank. They're actually transported in a protective, nourishing fluid. So how is this fluid, this fuel, actually made?
Well, there are 3 accessory glands that all pitch in. You've got the seminal vesicles, the prostate gland, and the Copper's gland. Each one secretes different fluids, and when they all combine, they form what's called seminal plasma. This plasma is amazing. It provides nutrients, it offers protection, and it's the medium the sperm swim in. And really, it's as simple as this formula right here. You take the sperm cells we just looked at, you combine them with the seminal plasma from those glands, and what you get is semen. That's the complete package that's ultimately transported.
And the proper scientific term for the process of sending the semen out from the male's body, that's called ejaculation. It's a precise biological term for this final step of the sperm's exit.
So, with all this complexity, what actually determines if the mission has a good chance of success? Well, for normal fertility, it's not just about producing sperm, it's about producing high-quality sperm. Let's look at the 2 key factors that matter most. First up is what's called morphology. That's just a fancy word for the sperm's shape and size. For a sample to be considered fertile, at least 60% of the sperm need to be correctly formed. This structure is absolutely essential for being able to penetrate the ovum. And the second key factor is motility, which basically means movement. At least 40% of the sperm have to be strong, active swimmers. They need that powerful, vigorous movement to have any chance of completing that incredibly demanding journey to the ovum. And just a quick note on the timeline here. In males, sperm production usually kicks off around puberty, maybe age 13 or 14, and it can actually continue well into old age. But it's important to know that the production and the quality do tend to decrease over time. Okay, let's wrap this all up with a final revision guide. For anyone studying for a biology exam, this is your cheat sheet, the most important things to take away from what we just covered. So here's your final checklist. Number 1, you have to memorize that 6-step pathway cold. Number 2, be prepared to label a sperm diagram with the head, middle piece, and tail. 3, know the specific functions of the acrosome and the mitochondria. These are classic exam questions. 4, make sure you understand the definitions of semen and ejaculation. And finally, lock in those 2 key numbers for fertility, 60% for shape and 40% for motility. So we've covered the mechanics, the pathway, and the design of this incredible journey. But remember, this single cell is carrying half of the genetic blueprint for a new human life, which kind of leaves us with one final big question. What other secrets of life are still hidden inside this one remarkable cell? That's all for this explainer. Thanks for joining us.